Hi again. So I am introducing you to one of the lessons I taught at my boot camp. How to teach the difference between the three words to, and two. I'm going to start by sharing my screen. And we're going to first start with TO. My student would say the real word is TWO. Whatever is their favorite is going to be the real word. But we're going to look at TO first, okay? And I teach this with my workbook. I'm going to highlight TO in blue. And first I want to teach the infinitive of the word to. So I have some words. I asked my student, if I said I got a haircut, what is the verb? So we've already taught on verbs and nouns. So the verb is the action, but I want him to know. So the verb is to get, okay? So walked, to walk. Spoke, to speak. When you want your infinitive, you want to get it in the present tense of the verb form. So I picked out some of these words that are in this little narrative here. So if I told him, I ate spinach yesterday. What's the verb? He would say ate. And I'll say, what's the infinitive of it? And he'll say, what does that mean again? I'll say, put it in the present tense. So ate is past tense. Eat is the present tense. When you say to eat, that's the infinitive form of the verb. So the reason some of English can get tricky is a lot of our sentences have two verbs. We have an infinitive form as well as another form. So I'm going to share with them. Okay, yesterday I saw a movie. What's the verb? Saw, put it in the present, see. And so the infinitive is to see. Okay. Yesterday I helped my friend move. What's the verb? Helped. What's the present tense? Help. What's the infinitive? To help. The next word, gave. Yesterday I gave $10 to my daughter to buy a blouse. What is the verb? Gave. What's the present tense? Give. What's the infinitive? To give. What about the word cooked? Yesterday I cooked a nice dinner for Valentine's Day. The verb is cooked. What's the present tense? Cook. And so what's the infinitive? To cook. So that's the pattern for that. So now I'm going to go to my worksheet. And I'm going to be sure you have your highlighters out. I picked 3 highlighters, and for teal, we're going to use blue. So we're going to look for the line that's followed by a verb. So candy bars is not a verb. Get is a verb. So we would say Cindy wanted to get, okay? Now we want to chunk this out for dyslexic children, and it helps all children to chunk it out. So we're focusing on the infinitive of to. So here's a line with the word hot. Here's a line with the word cook. Is cook a verb? Yes. So I can highlight my line and say to cook. And you just go down the work page and you could create your own little story, or you could buy my reading program. So here's the word get, which is a verb. Highlight that, to get. Here is another verb, eat, to eat. So right now, I'm not telling them the whole narrative. I'm just teaching them the verbs, the infinitive. So here's an infinitive, see, to hurry, okay? And so that's the example of that. Then I tell them that to also means going somewhere, like I'm going to the store, I'm going to the mall, I'm going to talk to someone. So let's look here and see, oh, here's another to get. to get. Okay, so for example, on number 6, I agreed to help. That's going to be the infinitive again, as long as. So number 7, Liz went to the front. Do you see the location there? Where did she go? To the front. So that's going to be to. And we could even put a little 1 after it because it's a different meaning for to the front. Here's the infinitive, to give. So this one's a little bit different because it's going somewhere. And here we have to give again. If you're listening to this on a podcast, it would help you to go to the YouTube channel, Dyslexia Solutions, and see the worksheet that I'm using. A lot of times people listen to the podcast while they're putting their makeup on, while they're driving, and I get it. That's real helpful. So anyway, look at number 9. They marched in step to the song. So I underlined that, and I'm going to give it a little 1 because that's a different to the song, okay? So that's a good example of how to separate the two. Now I'm going to talk to you about, you could pick one or the other. What about TOO? TOO is going to be, we got my yellow. I'm going to use yellow. And this means too much, or it could be also. So we'll put a little 1 after the second use of it. I went, oh, you know what? Keep your blue handy because here is to the corner store. And that's going to have a little 1 after it. Okay, so I went to the corner store to get 2 candy bars. That's not going to be it, right? Because that's going to be TWO. TWO I share is numbers. Okay. Okay, so on number 2, Cindy wanted to get some barbecued potato chips too. Okay. So we're going to highlight the line and you have a pencil handy if it's too light. To, which means also. When it's too hot, so that's like an extreme, right? Too hot. So one means also, the other is too much. Let's put a little 1 there because that's going to differentiate between that one and this one, 2 and 2. When it's too hot to cook, it's too hot to eat. And that's going to be quantity, quality. You could say it's too hot, too heavy, too easy, too difficult, okay? He didn't want to get there too soon. Too soon, okay, so we're going to put TOO. And that's going to be, if it's not also, it's the other one. Too much, too soon, too early. It's easy, okay, it's easy to see that the word to means more than 1. So that's not the one we need. I agreed to help too. So that one is also. I'm going to help also. If you can replace the word also with TOO, then you know that's the one you want to use. As long as the 2 others, so that's going to be a number. It was my pleasure to give you to the rewards. That's the number. It is too much to expect. Okay, too much. Let's put that. It doesn't mean also, so it's going to be the second too much. To expect. We forgot that one. So this is your verb. That's the infinitive form of that verb. And here's another infinitive, to be. Okay. So I just go through these work pages. There's actually a second one. Hold on a second. There's actually a part 2, page 2. So I'll spend a couple days on this. So now we're going to talk about time, the number 2. It's interesting how they both have a couple different things about them. We could say this one has the infinitive, which I put right here. So TO is for the infinitive and going somewhere, okay? TOO is too much, and it means also. So I put that right there in those directions. The last one, and my student would say the real 2, it's going to be a number 2, or it's going to be a measurement or time. Is that fun? Okay, so now I have a third color, and I'm going to look at my blanks. Number 5 says, it's easy to see that the word 2 means more than 1. So I'm going to highlight that line and write TWO. Number 6, I agreed to help as long as the 2 others were there. If it's followed by others, 2 people, that's when it's more than 1 again. Number 8, it will be a pleasure to give you 2 the rewards you deserved. So you could even put some names in there. Cam and Joe, you are 2 people, so I'm going to give you 2 the rewards. So then go to your next page. And anyway, in my workbook, it continues. But this is to show you, you can create a story of your own. If you need help with this, reach out to me, talk to me about my reading program. If you just want a workbook or 2, give me a call. So this lesson doesn't end with this. We filled in all these. So now I'm going to make cards that match the colors that we wrote. So here's a postcard. It's an index card for TO. And it's to be, to do, to drink, to get, infinitive. Then it's also a location, to the store, to my house. Okay, so there's going to be the blue one. Then there's going to be the pink one, which is TWO, can mean time, or it can be the number 2, 2 people. And then this one's light, but when I'm working with kids, they can see this. TOO, too much or also. Okay, so here's what I want. I'm going to show you what I do. I have the student lay the 3 of them out, and then I read the story, and I have the student touch the 2 that belongs in the space. Let me put this here. So you could follow along with me. And write this little story down if you want. Replay the video, use it for your story, okay? They went to the corner store to get 2 candy bars. That's one thing I didn't put in there. 2 candy bars. Cindy wanted to get some barbecue potato chips too, which is also. When it's too hot to cook, here's your infinitive, it's too hot to eat. This reminds me of the right-left dice game. Pass it to the left, pass it to the right. All right. He didn't want to get there too soon, so he didn't have to hurry. It is easy to see that the word 2 means more than 1. Okay. I agreed to help 2 also, as long as the 2 others were there. So Liz went to the front of the room to give her speech. There it is again, to give, right? It will be a pleasure to give you two the rewards, give you two people the rewards you each earned. They marched in step to the song, The Stars and Stripes Forever. It is too much to expect him to be rich and handsome. So that's just the example. You want to pull your highlighters out. You want to chunk it, do one color at a time, and then end it with flashcards. And this is a really fun exercise. Of course, we're going to review. And I'm going to show you the next one is going to be how to teach there, and there. So if you've enjoyed this, please please like this YouTube and go to my website, talk to me, leave me a comment. I'd love to have a workshop where I can teach you some of the grammar and phonics tricks that are really going to help you successful helping your child. Dyslexiasolutions.com. Bye-bye now.